Here we go, ladies and gents. It's Leaders to Legends podcast time with your host, Graham Frank Lickner. Here today to sauce you up and send you on your way into the world feeling the best you've ever felt. If you feel a little bit lighter today, then you are in the right place. If you feel a little brighter today, then you are in the right place. And if you feel when you leave this podcast episode today like you are smiling, cheesing, joyful, and pleasing yourself, you're in the right place. My friends, we out here today talking about purpose, living in purpose, finding purpose, getting in the sauce, so to speak, and I'm really stoked for it. This podcast episode is inspired from a journal entry from my Journey to Journey YouTube series that I've been creating these last 14 days. Today was day 14, and one of my prompts from today, the reflection of it really opened up a ton of new ideas. And one of them was just this really strong awareness about my talents and what the world needs, and that being the intersection of a lot of really incredible and beautiful things, right? My talents and what the world needs being the intersection of a lot of really powerful and beautiful things. And so what I want to do today is I just want to have a conversation about that, and my hope is that you've gained some awareness about yourself, what inspires you about yourself, and where you feel like your real talents are and what the world needs and what the tension is of you not bringing that to the world. All right, that's what we're going to talk about today, so just be prepared. It's going to be epic. And the first part of this is I just wanted to share my reflection to this prompt. Today's prompt in my journal that I wrote was, what inspires me about myself and why? What inspires me about myself and why? And I wrote down several things. I wrote down my vulnerability, my belief in myself, and I expanded on these, but just for time preferences, I'm only going to go into the main one. My love for people, my adventurous spirit, my imagination, and then I got to the one that really opened me up, and so I'm going to read this part of the excerpt, right? The work. Maybe the thing that most inspires me is my work. Learning to communicate with myself and others has been the greatest achievement of my life. Teaching others to do this, coaching them to be their most real, encouraging them to blaze their own trail in life and become legends. 'Tis the most powerful and glorious work I could imagine doing. Creating art and tools to help people do this on their own, it's all simply the most profound and useful work there is. I am so blessed to do it, and so blessed to live it. And I had this realization in that moment that this is where my talents and what the world needs collide. Fire and water make steam, right? This is where these two opposite components come together to form something totally new and something super powerful. And that is where I wanted to start today. So my question for you is, I want you to stop and pause this just for a second, is what inspires you about yourself and why? I want you to write down these inspirations, see what comes up. Write down these inspirations, see what's on your heart. Write down these inspirations. Give yourself permission to write down things that you would not normally give yourself permission to do. I want you to give yourself credit here today. Even if you don't feel like you fully deserve credit because you have guilt or shame or anger or resentment or irritation or sadness about the past, about someone that you are not, but because you can't let go of it, you think that you're still that person now. Right now, I want to sweep the floor squeaky clean. And I want you to see that the tile on the floor has always been you and always will be you. You can get gunk on it, you can get grout in it, you can get dirt on it, but it's still the tile. You're still yourself. What about you inspires you? Take a moment. Next question. Where is your ultimate talent? And why is it something that's special and unique to you? Take a moment. Right, because the reason that I want to go into all of these things is because we don't talk about them enough. We don't talk about our talents enough. After the talent show days, it was over. Middle school, elementary school. We don't showcase ourselves anymore that often. A lot of people do jobs and spend most of their time doing things that they really aren't that interested in and definitely aren't that talented in. But because they make money, because they put food on the table, that's what they've given themselves permission to do. Today, I want you to give yourself permission to believe that there's something else for you out there and that you're entitled to do it, right? And so for me, when I see my gift or talent being the art of communication and really being able to articulate how I feel and feel other people and connect with them mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, right? All of those things. Really seeing someone, not from like a 2-dimensional, not even a 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, like all the way through X-ray vision, the whole 9 yards. Really seeing them, like all of the issues in our world are directly related to miscommunication of how people are feeling, miscommunication of what people are thinking, miscommunication of what they interpreted someone to doing, and that caused retaliation, and that caused someone to say this and someone to do that, and back and forth until we get to this place where most humans are so untrusting of each other that we end up just lying to each other all the time. There's very little truth in our world. There's so many lies. There's a lot of omission. But there's very few people that are really willing to lay it out there and be honest and truthful in the moment. And what we want to do here is we want to cultivate a space where that's okay to do that. Like that's something that's all right. We're allowed to do that. And for me, what I found is that my greatest talent is inevitable. Like I just like to get to know people. I like to communicate with them. I like to learn about them. I like to listen to them. I like to laugh with them. I like to learn about them. And I love the process of getting to know somebody. It's just enjoyable for me. I love feeling that they trust me. I love trusting them. And I feel like our world now more than ever needs that. It needs to cultivate trust in itself. It needs to build relationships with itself. We need communication. We need people to be willing to communicate how they feel, what they think, what they're up to, why they're doing what they're doing. It gives us perspective, and perspective helps us to grow. It fuels the imagination, and imagination fuels innovation. And if we have an innovative world, an innovative group of people, we're going to have new ideas. We're going to have new thinking completely. We're going to have entirely new creations. And my intuition is that it will make the world a more connected place. And a more connected place meaning we will actually feel connected, not just because we have online access, we're connected to the internet. We'll actually understand ourselves and other people better. And if that's the case, then that is the direction we want to go. My question is, where's your little spot in the universe? Where do you belong? Where do you fit in? Where in the kitchen are you? We got the cups in the cupboard. We got the dishes in the, fancy thing I forget the name of. We got the silverware in the drawer. We got the food in the fridge. But where are you, chef? Where are you, chef? Where do you belong in this whole equation? And why? So I want you to give yourself permission here to really question, like, what is my greatest talent? Like, what am I talented in? Maybe you just understand and love basketball and you are like, I'm so talented in basketball, I need to do something around basketball. That is my little slice of life. I just love it there. I do great work there. I feel like I should be there. Every time I get around it, I get excited. Like that excitement and that powerful energy will propel you forward in your career. You might not make more money when you switch over to it at first, but it eventually will get there. Right? It might be you have an absolute love for the ocean and you just want to be around the ocean, in the ocean, near the ocean at all times. You might find that you are really excited about making video about the ocean. You make a YouTube channel and there's just infinite ways in which you can be successful, in which you can find what the world needs and match it with your talent, with the place that you love to be, the place that's your little space. Again, for me, it's communication. I just love to talk to people. I love to get to know them. I love to go on adventures. I feel like speaking with them is an adventure into who they are. And I see things that way. And I can communicate from that place. So I know the world needs that. And I found a way in being a coach to share what I'm excited about with the world and receive what the world wants from me, which is openness, communication, vulnerability, humility, confidence, desire to go after their dreams. Right? So it ends up working in this perfect harmony. The word is harmony. You're going to hear that word all the time on this podcast. So I want to know, what would make you feel like you are living in harmony? What would make you feel like you're living in harmony? The chef in the kitchen is in harmony. He or she knows where all the instruments are, all the tools. They know where the food is. They pick the freshest ingredients. And now they're just chefing up. Chefing is literally slang for in the sauce, in harmony, on purpose. Boom. That's what being a chef is. No, I'm on purpose. I'm purposely crafting this experience where people want to eat and I want to make great food. Boom. There's infinite ways in which you can make this work for you. I want you to give yourself permission to try. I just want you to give yourself permission to give it a shot. Give it a whirl. Step in, try something new, move closer to your calling. That's it. Just get closer. You don't have to dive right in. You can if you want, but you don't have to. Just get closer, right? The way to conquer your fear of the deep end is to get as close to the edge of the pool as possible. Look down and see there's nothing there. It's safe. There's just water. And you got to learn how to tread either way, right? Learning how to tread is stepping into tension, right? There's a tension that's going to come as you get really close with your talent to where the world needs. You're going to have to build a bridge. That's your job. It's like two tectonic plates moving closer and closer together. Your talent and what you want to do, and you seeing that the world really needs it, that this organization really needs it, that these people really need it, that this community really needs it, that this infrastructure really needs it, this town really needs it, and your ability. It's just two tectonic plates. Your job is to build this bridge that crosses them, right? Or two pieces of land and there's a body of water in between, like a river. You have to build a bridge across it. That's your ability to forge and create something that allows you to communicate and share your incredible gifts, your incredible talents with the world in a way that earns you income and allows you to sustain yourself and live your life. That's what purpose is. And when you're in it, you're living. And the reason you're living when you're in it is because you're taking chances, you're trying new things, you're tasting, you're playing, you're enjoying. Life is supposed to be enjoyed, especially at this stage in civilization for many people. I can't say this for everybody, but for at least people mostly in America. Like, we have most of our basic needs met for the first time ever in the history of civilization that we have recorded, at least. And most people are just finding reasons to be miserable. That's because you're not in your sauce. You're not on purpose. You're not living in the space that you were destined to live for. That's why you have a gift. I mean, like, you have a talent. I mean, like, that's the whole point of a talent, is it's specific, it's unique to you. You're the only one that can do this thing this way. That's special. And you get to decide how willing you are to share that. I personally would love to hear it. I think you would love to share it. Your courage to do that is totally dependent on your ability to see within yourself what inspires you, to find inspiration within you. And that's why I asked that question today. Like, what inspires you about yourself and why? What is your greatest talent that you've discovered within yourself, and why do you feel like that's special to you? Why does the world need those talents, and why? Why does the world need those talents? I really want you to take time to write it out. It's amazing. Right? What inspires you about yourself and why? What are your greatest talents? Or what is your greatest talent? And where does the world need your talent today, and why? You don't have to do this today, but I promise you, as soon as you have this firmly in your mind, you're already going to start figuring it. Your mind will already start to try and figure out ways to make it a reality. All you have to do is believe it's possible. That's your job, is the belief. That moves one of these land masses closer together. And they need to be close enough so you can build the bridge, which means you have to be able to see the other side, right? See how there's a belief factor there? You have to get closer and closer and closer. It's not necessarily just a drop that you're doing and make the bridge. It's a slow process of getting this landmass is close enough that you can build the bridge. And that's what you're doing here. That's what purpose is. I don't want to sugarcoat it, and I don't want to make it too difficult. I just want to share that I was so inspired today when I realized that I am in my purpose. I've known that, but actually really seeing what it is that my job is to communicate and teach people how to communicate, to help them to resolve things within themselves so they can resolve things externally, and we can all live in more harmony. To me, that is the most powerful thing I could ever do for the world, and it is the thing the world most needs right now. It needs to learn how to communicate itself, because right now it's very chaotic and very confusing, and there's a lot of people doing things, but not explaining why they're doing them, and because they are living in a world where they feel like they aren't in their talent, they're projecting they're not being talented, or they're not doing what they want to do in other areas. It's manifesting in chaos and confusion. And I'm way more about harmony and peace, obviously. And so I wanted to share this today as maybe as a guiding light for you to get more clarity on your talent and what the world needs and why. And if you can just have those two things on your mind as you leave today's podcast episode, you're already getting closer. You can feel free to message me, let me know what you feel like yours are, and I'm open to helping you build a bridge. That's kind of what I do in a lot of ways as a coach, is I help my clients figure out what their talent is, and I help them move closer to a place where they're living in harmony with it. Right? And that might be within an organization, it might be creating their own thing, it might be moving to a new one. It might not be doing any of those things. But it is closer to them feeling really good, feeling really free, feeling really confident, feeling really in peace, feeling really in presence, feeling really empowered. Right? Because when you're doing your talent, you're empowered. Whether you're singing, dancing, walking really fast, learning, studying, lecturing, like whatever it is that you do, whenever you're doing it, you feel fucking amazing. So too, I feel amazing being on this podcast episode. I feel so empowered. I feel so excited. I feel so stoked to see who's going to listen to this, who's going to watch the YouTube video. What are they going to think? Are they going to be fired up about it? What are they going to share about me, about what their journey is? I'm all about those things. I want to learn. I want to communicate, obviously, right? But I want to know, what is yours, right? It's also important to note, there is no way your purpose or calling is going to go easy on you. It's going to be hard to accept the truth of who you are and what you add to the world. That right there is the journey. People always talk about the journey. That is the journey. The journey is understanding and persevering through the awareness that there is no way your purpose or calling is going to go easy on you. Meaning, the person that you know you want to be and the world needs you to be in order for you to feel the most fulfilled, there's no way that path there is going to be easy. It's going to be challenging. It's going to require courage. It's going to require overcoming adversity. It's going to require shedding layers. It's going to require evolving. It's going to require letting go of things that are in the past and sacrificing things that you think are in your future for the present moment, here, now, and learning to find peace, presence, and power in it. I promise you, it will bring you clarity and abundance that you could not experience in any other way, in my personal opinion. That is where your purpose will be obvious to you, and you will feel fulfilled, and you will feel excited to wake up in the morning, and you will feel that no matter how bad things get, you still have that. You still have your light, your spark, your fire, your guidance. Like, that is where it comes from. It comes from you being in sync with who you are, your talent, your ability, and the thing that you want to bring to the world, your art, your music, your sauce. The journey is sharing that with the world. And I want you to. And that's your path. And on your path, you'll reinvent yourself over and over again. But I want to give you today permission to be free, explore, and bring your sauce to everything and everyone. That's my purpose, is to help other people get connected to who they are, bring their talent to the world, and help the world by helping themselves, right? The whole vision, the whole motto of Pillars of Growth, Leaders to Legends: change the world by changing yourself, and legends find a way. Presence, peace, and power. All are saying the same thing. Live in harmony. Enjoy. Love your life. So, some questions to think about today. Some insight maybe on finding that sweet spot for you. Right? That spot between talents and what the world needs. And the next level of this is figuring out what it is that's stopping you from doing it, right? Or stopping you from getting started. Because again, it doesn't have to be this jump. Everyone thinks it's like this abandoned ship. We have to go all in on this thing now. Stop. No, man, just start playing. Just start getting back in the rhythm of it. It will eventually show itself. Everything reveals itself. All paths forward reveal themselves. You can't see it. You just have to walk it and listen to the music and keep following your intuition and keep following your gut. And keep putting yourself in new positions that sink into that tension of fire and water, and feel the steam. The steam is where you're going to build confidence, because you're literally changing the energy of things. You're changing yourself. It's epic. So anyway, amazing. I'm excited. I just wanted to share this message today. It was a very inspired, spontaneous message, and there's so many more of these types of things in the YouTube series that I started called Journey to Journaling. It's 30 days of journaling and prompts with me and my personal reflections on them. So if you're interested in that, go find it there. I'm going to share this on Instagram. If you guys don't follow me at Graham.Lickner, it's awesome. I post a lot of really awesome stuff there, especially doing this type of work, what we're talking about here with my clients, and kind of stories about how we're doing it together. And yeah, just wishing you the absolute best today. And if you guys want to share your talents with me, feel free. I'm open to it. Just excited for everything and everyone, and thankful to be here. Presence, peace, and power be with you all, peeps. Legends find a way. Don't be afraid to walk the path. Don't be afraid to share your sauce. Find out what inspires you within yourself. just go in that direction.